Chosen one, God is hiding your power, so you'll be ready. There's a reason you've felt underestimated, overlooked, or even invisible at times. It's not because you're not worthy. It's not because you're forgotten. It's because something sacred is being preserved inside of you. Something powerful is being protected by divine hands until the time is right. You are not powerless. You are hidden. And there is a huge difference. You, dear chosen one, are in a season of preparation that most people won't recognize or understand. And that's okay. In fact, that's the point. While others race for attention, applause, and approval, your growth is happening underground, deep beneath the surface where eyes can't see and hands can't touch. But you better believe the heavens are watching, the divine is moving, the universe is aligning, and your time is coming. Before we go any deeper, watch this video until the very end. This video carries an energetic frequency that's more than just words. It's a spiritual signal to your destiny. If you feel like the world hasn't seen your true light yet, that's not your fault. It's divine strategy. So take a moment right now to type your warmest wishes in the comments and write 99 as a symbol of fulfillment. Let this be your personal declaration to the universe. Your wish is valid, your power is rising, and your breakthrough is closer than ever. Don't underestimate the power of energy, words, and intention. This is how we summon the miracles we were born for. Now, chosen one, like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel. And let's now return to the essence of this message. Chosen one, your life is not behind schedule. It's being precisely aligned. When you were born, you were marked, not by people, but by the heavens. You were assigned a divine blueprint, and with that came protection, even from yourself at times. Because your power is so significant, it needed to be hidden from the world until you were fully ready to carry it. Not partially ready, fully, maturely, courageously. That's why you've gone through the storms you did. That's why certain doors closed even when you begged for them to stay open. That's why relationships fell apart even when you thought they were forever. God wasn't punishing you. God was preparing you. Every setback you experienced wasn't rejection, it was divine redirection. Every delay wasn't denial, it was refinement. And every moment of silence wasn't the absence of power, it was the hiding of it. Because power revealed too early becomes a burden. But power revealed at the right time becomes a weapon of light. You've been asking, why do I feel so much more inside than what others see? It's because your spirit remembers who you are. Your higher self knows what's coming. Your soul already holds the blueprint. And it knows, without question, that this is just the cocoon. The stage before the stage, the depth before the height, the solitude before the roar. Your current season may not look glamorous. You may be in a job you hate, a space that doesn't match your vision, or a mindset that feels foggy. But remember, nothing beautiful begins as beautiful. Even the seed starts in dirt. Even the diamond is pressed through unimaginable force. Even the butterfly starts as something unrecognizable. Why would your power be any different? You are not stuck. You are stationed, planted, assigned, hidden by heaven to be revealed in glory. But here's the catch. It's easy to lose heart when your potential feels dormant. That's why so many give up. That's why so many chosen ones feel tempted to settle for less. Because the wait feels endless. The darkness feels unfair, and the silence feels suffocating. But oh, chosen one, hold on. Because what's ahead is so beyond your current comprehension that if God revealed it all now, you wouldn't believe it. Your power has to be hidden until your heart is strong enough to carry it. Don't curse the hiding. Honor it. Because it's in the hiding that your muscles are formed. It's in the hiding that your discernment is sharpened. It's in the hiding that your character is tested and purified. And when the time is right, you won't even have to announce yourself. Your glow will speak. Your energy will declare. Your life will testify. There's a sacred silence around your destiny right now, and it's loud in heaven. The angels are preparing your arrival. The doors are getting ready to swing open. The people who will align with your light are being gathered. And when it begins, it will feel sudden. But remember, it was never sudden. It was silently in motion all along. This is why you must be careful who you share your vision with. Not everyone can handle the gravity of your calling. Not everyone deserves access to your spiritual GPS. When God is hiding your power, He's also hiding you from those who would misuse it, misunderstand it, or mock it. Your calling is sacred. Your anointing is rare. Your future is volcanic, and it will erupt in divine timing. So if it feels like things have been quiet lately, if it feels like no one really sees you, if you've been battling doubt about your future, rejoice. Because it means God is still hiding you. And if He's still hiding you, He's still preparing something massive. Do not confuse stillness with stagnation. Do not confuse isolation with abandonment. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. You are in divine custody. Every second is orchestrated. Every lesson is intentional. And every tear has been counted. The truth is, the bigger the power, the longer the preparation. The deeper the assignment, the greater the training. And the more dangerous your impact, the more silent your rise. So, stay faithful, stay patient, stay grounded. What you are becoming is not ordinary. It is world-shifting. And because of that, it requires spiritual maturity to wield. When God hides your power, He's not keeping you from success. He's preparing you for sustainable success. Anyone can go viral. Anyone can get attention. But only the chosen sustain impact. Only the prepared keep their throne. And only those who have been hidden know how to walk with wisdom, not ego. That's you. That's who you are. A future giant dressed in humility. A divine leader shaped in secret. A spiritual powerhouse trained through shadows. So when you walk into rooms and people don't notice you, smile. You're not here to be seen yet. You're here to observe, to learn, to listen, to gather. Because soon, the spotlight won't just find you, it will follow you. And when it does, you'll be ready. Not just to stand in it, but to handle it, to lead in it, to shine without burning. Because the hiding season teaches you how to carry power without arrogance, how to lead without control, how to shine without ego, and how to win without needing applause. That is the true preparation. That is why you're being hidden. Chosen one, there is a level of glory waiting for you that will silence every doubt you've ever had about your worth. There is a level of influence being stored up for you that will redeem every year you thought was wasted. There is a wave of power that will crash into your life and resurrect every buried dream. But you must stay the course. Do not grow weary in well-doing. Do not compare your process. Do not try to rush what heaven is refining. The fire you've felt was not to burn you. It was to forge you. The silence you've known was not to punish you. It was to protect you. And the loneliness you've endured was not to isolate you. It was to insulate you for what's coming. Because when it happens, and it will, you won't be the same person. You'll be wiser, sharper, kinder, more focused, more intentional, more powerful. Because you'll have gone through the holy hiding. You'll have been shaped in secret. And you'll rise, not from hype, but from divine substance. So take heart, chosen one. The world has no idea who you're about to become. But heaven does, and soon, so will everyone else. You are not being overlooked. You are being watched over. You are not being denied. You are being developed. This journey was never about speed. It's about precision. And the more rare your destiny, the more intense your process. Your anointing cannot be rushed. It must be refined. Because if the weight of your future met the weakness of your past self, it would crush you. So what did God do? He protected you through silence. He matured you through delay. He loved you by concealing you. And now, in this sacred season, your spirit is awakening. You're sensing shifts you can't explain. You're feeling energy rising that doesn't match your surroundings. It's because your divine power is no longer buried. It's building. Slowly, strategically. Like a volcano preparing to erupt, you may still look calm on the outside, but inside, heaven is igniting your core. You may find yourself losing interest in what used to distract you. You may notice that people who once had access to you are now drifting away. You may even feel pulled to isolate, not because you're depressed, but because your spirit is requesting solitude. You are not breaking down. You are breaking through. When God hides your power, He often hides your desire for validation too. You start to pull away from applause. You stop craving attention. You begin to desire purpose more than praise. Because real power isn't loud. It's deliberate. It's stable. It's rooted in something greater than public opinion. And that's what's happening inside you. A rooting, a quiet transformation, a divine reprogramming. Don't be afraid of what you're becoming. Yes, it's unfamiliar. Yes, it feels strange. But that's only because it's new. You are stepping into the most aligned version of yourself. The version that was prophesied long before you knew your name. The version that is deeply connected to your Creator. The version that does not chase opportunities, but attracts them. The version that no longer runs from pain, but transforms it. You were never meant to stay in survival mode. You were meant to thrive. And thriving begins with identity. The hiding process is God's way of protecting your true identity until it's strong enough to never again be hijacked by the world's opinions. You're learning to walk with unseen confidence. You're discovering what it means to glow from within. You're stepping into your divine rhythm. And soon, the power that has been hidden will be undeniable. But this is where many lose patience. They want the crown without the process. They want the breakthrough without the burden. But you are different. You've been tested. You've been broken. You've been stretched to the limits of your emotions. Yet you rise. You endure. You keep walking. That's what makes you chosen. God doesn't hide the average. He hides the exceptional. He doesn't conceal the ordinary. He shields the extraordinary. So if your life hasn't looked normal, it's because your future won't either. You are being raised in the shadows so you can reign in the light. Let others post their highlights. Let others race to be seen. Your story is not a sprint, it's a divine symphony. And every moment you've spent in silence is building your next sound. When it's time, your voice will carry weight. Your presence will shift rooms. Your energy will awaken others. Not because you tried to make it happen, but because you allowed God to prepare you without shortcuts. That's the part most people will never see. The lonely nights, the internal wars, the quiet tears, the deep prayers, the spiritual battles that shaped you when no one was watching. But you didn't need an audience. You had heaven's attention. You were being forged in divine fire. And now, that fire is turning into fuel. Your vision is becoming clearer. Your steps are becoming ordered. Your confidence is returning. But this time, it's not ego. It's essence. The essence of someone who has walked through hell and didn't lose their light. The essence of someone who now understands that hidden power is the most potent kind. Because when God is ready to reveal you, there will be no mistake. The world will know. The shift will be visible. The timing will be undeniable. And what once looked like delay will be seen as divine orchestration. You'll walk into opportunities that don't match your resume, but match your calling. You'll enter spaces that others had to fight for, but you'll be invited. You'll meet people who recognize your light instantly, because their spirit has been waiting for yours. And it will all feel surreal, but it will also feel right, because your hidden power was never meant to stay hidden forever. It was hidden for preservation, for alignment, for clarity, for depth. And now, as the veil begins to lift, you're walking differently. Not with arrogance, but with knowing. Not with fear, but with wisdom. Not with noise, but with presence. There's a glow around you now that even you can feel. You might not be able to describe it, but you know it's real. People sense something different. You're not the same person they used to know, and you're not supposed to be. That version of you was the seed. This version is the harvest. But understand this: the revealing of your power is not just for you. It's for those who are waiting on your light. Your rise is a signal to others that it's possible. Your story will be the medicine someone else needs to believe again. And that's why God took his time with you. He's not just building a person, he's building a vessel that can carry wealth without losing humility, a vessel that can carry influence without becoming corrupted, a vessel that can stand on platforms and still remain grounded. That is the true reason for the hiding. That is why your power had to wait. Because what's coming next requires a version of you that is disciplined, centered, and secure in who you are, so that nothing and no one can knock you off course. So stand tall, chosen one. You are nearing the edge of emergence. The stage is being set. The curtains are preparing to rise. And when the lights hit you, it won't be a performance. It will be a prophecy fulfilled. Everything that has happened up until now has been a part of your divine training. Not a single moment was wasted. Every loss, every betrayal, every disappointment, they were all custom designed to shape a version of you that could hold massive power with unshakable humility. You weren't being punished. You were being prepared. And this preparation was not for a small assignment. No, chosen one. This is for a calling that will echo beyond your lifetime. That's why it felt heavy. That's why it took longer. Because the foundation needed to be deep, not just wide. Surface-level success was never your destiny. You were never meant to have temporary visibility. You were created for eternal impact. But before a skyscraper can reach the heavens, its roots must reach the depths. The deeper the dig, the higher the rise. And your life has been one long dig into spiritual depth. God wasn't ignoring you. He was excavating you, removing what no longer served, cutting away attachments that couldn't go where you're heading, crushing illusions that kept you from the truth of who you are. Yes, it hurt, but look at you now, wiser, clearer, stronger. You've shed versions of yourself you once thought you couldn't live without. And in doing so, you uncovered the truth of your divine identity. That's power. That's transformation. And that's exactly what heaven intended all along. See, real power doesn't come from platforms. It comes from process. And your process has been sacred, intimate, intentional. The late nights where no one saw you crying, God saw. The moments where you prayed for clarity while your world was collapsing, God heard. The seasons where it felt like everyone else was getting blessed while you were stuck in survival mode, God was not punishing you. He was protecting the power within you from being poured into places that couldn't honor it. Because real power in the wrong environment gets polluted. It gets diminished. It gets manipulated. So God hid you, not to delay you, but to preserve you, to mature your discernment, to raise your standards, to give you spiritual eyes that see beyond charm and charisma, and instead recognize truth and alignment. You are not just being prepared to lead. You are being prepared to lead with divine integrity, to stand tall without losing your soul, to influence without compromising your essence. And that kind of leader is rare. That kind of leader is formed in fire. That kind of leader is not mass-produced. They are chosen. That's why this process has been so lonely, so unfamiliar. Because no one can walk this road for you. You were being handcrafted by heaven, not assembled by the world. And now, the heavens are whispering, it's almost time. But before the revealing comes the last phase of refinement, the final alignment, the ultimate shedding. Because the version of you that's about to rise is going to walk through doors your past self wouldn't have recognized. So if you're feeling that final stretch of spiritual tension right now, good. That means the transition is near. That pressure you're under is not random. It's the final expansion before the emergence. You are stretching spiritually, emotionally, and energetically so that your life can finally hold the size of the power that's about to be activated. There's something sacred happening in your silence. Heaven is coding your energy with new assignments. New relationships are being aligned behind the scenes. Resources are being positioned. Timing is being synchronized. And it's all happening beyond the reach of your current understanding. That's why you feel a shift, even if you can't explain it. You are standing in the tension between who you were and who you're becoming. This is the sacred in-between, and it requires patience, stillness, trust, because this moment is fragile, but so full of potential. One wrong move could delay what's meant for you. One moment of ego could ruin what was meant to be eternal. That's why the final phase of hiding is often the hardest, because it comes with the illusion of readiness, yet asks for restraint. It whispers to your soul, not yet, but soon. And that's the dance. Learning to trust the divine timing so fully that you don't sabotage the season just because you're tired of waiting. Because your breakthrough is not being delayed. It's being fortified. You are not being overlooked. You're being aligned. The world isn't sleeping on you. The world is being prepared for you. Because when your light rises, it will shine so brightly that it will expose darkness, awaken truth, and elevate every space it enters. You are not rising for attention. You are rising for assignment. And the power you carry, yes, the one that's been hidden, is not just for success. It's for spiritual revolution. It's for healing, for awakening, for generational impact. That's why the hiding was necessary. That's why the process was sacred. And that's why when your moment comes, it won't just be a moment. It will be a movement. So don't panic in the pause. Don't curse the quiet. Instead, breathe into it. Thank it. Honor it. Because the silence is holy. The tension is sacred. And your power, though hidden, is rising. You are standing on the edge of the greatest unveiling of your life. And yet, it still feels quiet. Still. Silent. That's because just before the revelation, there is always a final stillness, a hush in the spirit, a moment where heaven holds its breath, not in hesitation, but in reverence for what is about to be released. You, chosen one, are that release. You've gone through the cycles. You've been torn apart and rebuilt from the inside out. You've been stripped of illusions, lies, false identities, and attachments that had no business traveling into your destiny. It may have looked like loss, but it was love, divine love, protecting your true self from being buried beneath everything that wasn't yours to carry. And now, the version of you that's emerging is the most aligned you've ever been. The world has no idea what's about to be revealed. They have no idea how much power you've cultivated in the darkness. They don't know how many nights you stayed awake in spiritual warfare, choosing faith over fear when everything around you was falling apart. They don't know how many times you had to break your own heart to keep your integrity. They don't know the kind of strength it took to remain kind in a world that kept trying to harden you. They only see what's on the surface. But heaven sees everything. Heaven knows the cost. Heaven has recorded every sacrifice. And now, the heavens are declaring that your time of hiding is nearly over. This is not the time to shrink. This is not the time to second-guess your power. This is the time to get grounded in your truth. Because when your power is finally revealed, The gravity of your presence will shift atmospheres. You will no longer have to explain yourself. You will no longer feel the urge to convince anyone of your worth, because your existence alone will speak volumes. You are entering a realm of silent influence, where your energy moves things before your words ever do. That's what hiding does. It purifies your aura. It deepens your authority. It gives your words weight, your touch healing, your silence clarity. So yes, the hiding was hard, but it was holy. And now you're seeing it. You're feeling it. Your intuition is sharper. Your dreams are more vivid. Your body is responding to energies in ways you never noticed before. That's because your spiritual system is activating. Your vessel is being fine-tuned to host the power that's waking up inside you. You may feel more sensitive lately. That's because your gifts are stretching. You may feel disconnected from what used to excite you. That's because your soul is outgrowing the old vibrations. You may even feel isolated again. That's because the final pieces are being moved, quietly, strategically, so that your launch is clean, clear, and divinely timed. And when it happens, there will be no resistance, no confusion, no delay. Everything will flow. Doors will open effortlessly. Divine partnerships will form out of nowhere. Finances will appear to support your mission. Opportunities will knock without you chasing. And the peace, oh, the peace that will fill your spirit will confirm what you already know. You were never behind. You were always being positioned. You didn't lose time. You were gaining power. The very thing you thought was a delay was God's protection from a lesser timeline. And now you're stepping into alignment. But hear this carefully. As your power becomes visible, distractions will too. Not everything that calls your name deserves your attention. Not every open door is your door. Not every invitation is sacred. Discernment is your greatest armor in this season. Because when you are revealed, the world will want your light. But not everyone is ready to honor it. And not everyone is meant to carry your light with you. That's why you must guard your energy like a sacred temple. Your thoughts, your emotions, your atmosphere, your time. They are all now ingredients in the divine recipe being written through your life. You've outgrown the need to be liked. You've outgrown the desire to be understood. You now crave truth, purpose, alignment, and that makes you unstoppable. Because real power doesn't come from being seen. It comes from being spiritually clean. And you, chosen one, have been cleansed. Not just from old people or situations, but from false beliefs, from egoic patterns, from survival mindsets. That's the true work, the invisible work, the unglamorous process that prepares you for the miraculous. And now you're on the verge of something sacred, something massive, something that will not just change your life, but the lives of those connected to your destiny. You are a walking portal of light, a vessel of divine remembrance, a signal to others that God still chooses, still speaks, still raises people from nothing and crowns them with glory. That's why the enemy tried to distract you. That's why fear tried to freeze you. That's why old wounds tried to whisper lies into your spirit, because your awakening is dangerous. To every lie, every dark system, every structure built to suppress light. But you're not here to play small. You're not here to blend in. You're not here to survive. You're here to reveal. And the revealing is closer than ever. Feel it. It's in your bones. It's in your breath. It's in the way the universe is suddenly moving around you. That synchronicity you're noticing, that odd alignment of people and signs and moments, it's not chance. It's confirmation. The divine is whispering, get ready. Your spirit has already said yes. That's why you can't return to who you used to be. That's why you've lost interest in the ordinary. That's why you feel detached from things that used to define you. You are no longer a seeker. You are a carrier. You don't just hope for the light. You embody it. And very soon, the world will see what heaven has known all along. The chosen one is not just hidden. They are anointed. The chosen one is not just quiet. They are preparing. The chosen one is not just rising. They are awakening a generation. You didn't come here to be average. You didn't come here to merely exist. You came here with a frequency so powerful, so divinely assigned, that the world had to be prepared to receive you. And more importantly, you had to be prepared to reveal yourself. Yes, chosen one, that's the real reason behind the hiding. Not because the world wasn't ready for you, but because God was preparing you to be ready for the world, for the responsibility, for the magnitude, for the influence, for the legacy. Because your life is not about one moment. It's about many divine moments stitched together, creating a tapestry of impact that stretches far beyond what your eyes can see. You are here to disrupt patterns. You are here to awaken generations. You are here to walk into dry places and bring the rain. You are not here to build a brand. You are here to leave a mark. This level of power cannot be rushed. That's why your development has been private, sacred, silent. Because before you change lives, you must first be transformed yourself. Before you carry others, you must be able to carry your own soul with grace, truth, and wisdom. And now, the pieces are clicking into place. The clarity is arriving. The signs are undeniable. You're no longer wondering if you're chosen. You're just preparing for what being chosen requires. Because chosen doesn't mean celebrated, it means trusted. And trust is built through testing, through pruning, through fire. You passed that test. You've shown heaven that even in your lowest moments, you would not betray your light. Even when you doubted, you still prayed. Even when you were tired, you still stood. Even when everything fell apart, you did not curse your path. You kept going. You didn't just survive the hiding season, you honored it. And that, dear soul, is the sign of a true chosen one. Now everything within you is shifting. Your soul knows what your mind is still catching up to. Your power is waking up. The frequency in your spirit has risen so high that lower vibrations no longer make sense. You're no longer able to stay where you don't belong. You're no longer willing to force connections that drain your light. That's not arrogance, that's divine awareness. And it's all part of the rise. Your rise is not noisy. It's not boastful. It's not for attention. It's for divine alignment. Because when you walk in your truth, the world adjusts. When you walk in your authority, opportunities meet you. When you speak from your soul, hearts shift. This is what's coming. You will speak, and people will be healed. You will create, and souls will awaken. You will move, and atmospheres will change. Because your power is not a performance, it's a vibration, a divine frequency woven into the very core of who you are. But be warned, as your light intensifies, the shadows will notice. Not because you are weak, but because you are effective. There will be distractions, old patterns trying to resurface, energies from your past knocking at your spirit's door. But you're wiser now. You know how to discern noise from alignment. Chosen one, this isn't a coincidence. This isn't just another message floating through the digital noise. This is a divine confirmation, a supernatural moment in time where you are being called out, set apart, and shown the door that leads directly to your fortune. You've been seeking answers, wondering if the path you're walking is leading anywhere meaningful, if the grind you've been committed to is ever going to bear fruit. And now, here it is. God has decided. This work, yes, this very work, will unlock your fortune. Before we dive in deeper, watch this video until the very end. There are energies moving right now as you hear these words. There is power in your attention, and as you align with this divine transmission, something in the spirit realm begins to respond. And I invite you to comment below your warmest wishes and the number 99. This small act carries symbolic power. It's not just for you, it's for the universe. You are energizing your vision, releasing faith into motion, and declaring that you are ready. Ready for the gates of fortune to open. Ready for the divine decision to manifest in full view. Now, chosen one, like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's speak honestly. There have been moments you've felt unseen. You've given your best, poured your heart into what you do, and yet you looked around and saw others succeeding while you waited. But what if I told you that the reason your breakthrough was delayed was because the blessing being built for you had to be bigger than what you imagined? What if the work you've been doing all this time has been infused with favor, silently gathering momentum behind the scenes? You weren't being punished, you were being prepared. God was not ignoring you, He was multiplying your return. It's not about laboring endlessly anymore. It's not about pouring energy into everything and receiving nothing back. This time is different, because the divine has already made a decision about you. And the decision is not vague. It is not delayed. It is sealed. Heaven has determined that your hands, your ideas, your essence, your work, is the vessel through which your fortune will flood in. You don't have to guess anymore. You don't have to doubt anymore. The alignment is already complete. You are just walking into the evidence of what has already been written. Many people think fortune only comes from luck or inheritance, but your fortune comes from obedience. It comes from doing the work you were called to do, even when it didn't look like it was working. The way you stayed consistent even when the rewards were silent. That work is the very thing unlocking supernatural favor now. What you thought was small is about to be revealed as the key to a door so massive it takes heaven itself to swing it open. And guess what? That door is already creaking. You may not feel it yet, but your name is being whispered in places you haven't entered. Your work is being seen by eyes you didn't expect. Your presence is being felt in spiritual realms where decisions are made. You're not random, you're strategic. Your existence is not just a miracle, it's a divine mission. And the work you've been doing, whether it's a business, a creative craft, a passion project, or a quiet discipline you've been nurturing, it is spiritually coded to release abundance. Hear this. God has chosen your work as the pipeline of prosperity. This isn't the season for random blessings. This is the season of targeted miracles. You are not going to receive just any fortune. You are about to receive the exact fortune that was crafted with your name on it. And how does it arrive? Through the thing you've already been doing, but now touched by divine fire. It might have felt invisible, even insignificant, but that's only because the fortune within it hadn't been activated yet. Now it is. The gears are turning. The signals have been sent. Heaven has approved your release. And that's why you're hearing this now, because the moment of manifestation is right on time. You were not forgotten. You were being refined for this exact unveiling. And I know there were moments when quitting seemed easier, when the silence felt deafening, when the opposition was too loud. But chosen one, you didn't quit. You kept building, kept trusting, kept sowing. That silent loyalty to your calling is now being rewarded in public. The heavens are about to shout your name. People who once overlooked you will be astonished. The same work they dismissed will be the work that displays your divine elevation. You're not working for crumbs anymore. You're not stuck in survival anymore. You are entering the territory of overflow, and it's coming through the work that God marked for favor. This is how divine fortune works. It looks ordinary until it becomes extraordinary. You think you're just painting a canvas, writing a song, managing your shop, organizing your life, but heaven sees you igniting a flame of purpose that cannot be put out. You've turned your obedience into a magnet for wealth. And yes, it may still feel like nothing has changed yet, but the vibration has. The atmosphere around your work is charged now. You are not just producing, you're creating wealth codes. Every effort, every move is being multiplied. You're planting spiritual blueprints with every task. This is no longer a guessing game. This is strategy blessed by the divine. You've passed the test of time. You've passed the test of faith. Now comes the test of receiving. Don't shrink when it starts showing up. Don't second guess it when your bank account starts to overflow. Don't apologize when the recognition pours in. You were chosen for this. You were built for this. This was not an accident. It was decided. God is not just rewarding you for the outcome. God is rewarding you for the process, for showing up when nothing showed up for you, for continuing to serve the vision when no applause echoed back. That's royal obedience, and royal obedience always attracts royal fortune. So now, be prepared, not just emotionally, but practically. Get your hands ready to receive. Get your spirit ready to carry more. Get your environment ready to host abundance. The work that once felt repetitive is now becoming radiant. The assignment that seemed like a burden is about to bring you blessings too big for one place. This work will not just unlock your fortune, it will unlock your identity. You will see yourself differently. You will walk differently. You will operate in authority. You will finally understand why you were asked to do this and not that. Why you felt resistance when trying to copy others. Because your path is sacred. Your work is prophetic. And your fortune is not delayed. It is being delivered. Let them underestimate you. Let them mock your process. You don't need their permission. You have God's decision. And when God decides, no voice on earth can reverse it. This work has been appointed. This mission has been activated. The wealth assigned to you has already been cleared. It's on the way, not as a surprise, but as a supernatural result of your divine calling. And soon, so very soon, you will see it in full. Not just a taste, not just a glimpse, but an overflow that keeps refilling itself, a fortune that multiplies, a reward so fitting it restores every weary place in your soul. There's a shift happening, chosen one, and it's not surface level. It's foundational. It's internal. The atmosphere around your life is no longer what it used to be. That old version of you that worked in the shadows with no reward is being erased. The version that kept going while no one noticed is being rewritten with divine recognition. Because now, heaven is not just watching you, it's endorsing you. There's a marked difference between working and working under divine instruction. Many work tirelessly without direction, and their efforts return void. But your work has been purified by patience, seasoned with endurance, and appointed by something bigger than personal ambition. That's why it had to take time. That's why you had to feel the resistance. It was not to hurt you. It was to prepare you. Your foundation had to be tested before the fortress of fortune could be built upon it. This isn't just success that's coming your way. It's alignment. Success that doesn't align with your spirit is short-lived. But alignment produces wealth that stays, multiplies, and blesses others too. And that's what's unlocking now. Your work is becoming the alignment point between heaven's intention and earth's manifestation. Your hands have been chosen to carry the very tools that unlock that divine flow. You've likely had moments where you questioned, is this really it? Is this small thing really going to change my life? And the answer is yes. Yes, chosen one. That small thing is about to become the birthplace of something historic. That idea you almost gave up on is about to fund generations. That gift you almost buried is about to raise up your name in places where legacy is made. You're not just unlocking money, you're unlocking legacy. This is how divine fortune works. It doesn't announce itself with fanfare. It starts as a whisper, a nudge, a quiet passion that won't let go of your spirit. And when you obey that passion, no matter how small it looks in the beginning, heaven starts moving. And now you're in that zone. The zone where obedience activates overflow. The zone where divine order takes over. The zone where you no longer chase opportunities. Opportunities chase you. The angels assigned to your life have begun to deliver what was long prepared. The work you've been doing is sending out signals that heaven recognizes as readiness. And that's all God has been waiting for. Not perfection, not popularity, but readiness. And you're ready now. Not because everything around you is perfect, but because your heart is aligned. Your intentions are clean. Your vision is awake. Your work is honest. Don't underestimate how powerful that is in a world drowning in imitation. You've chosen the hard road of being real, and that choice is now unlocking rare favor. Divine favor doesn't follow trends, it follows authenticity. And your authenticity is magnetic to miracles. The very thing that made you feel behind is what God is using to put you ahead. You're about to become the proof that purpose pays off. That chosen work is not just about tasks and timelines, it's spiritual architecture. Every brick you laid in obscurity, every late night where you almost gave up, every sacrifice you made to stay aligned instead of chasing shortcuts, that was construction. Divine construction. And now the structure is complete. Now the anointing is active. Now the glory is arriving. Prepare to be overwhelmed in the best possible way. Prepare to be overtaken by opportunities you didn't apply for, connections you didn't chase, partnerships that seek you out, clients, customers, collaborators, coming not just for your product, but for your presence. Because your work carries divine presence. It radiates an energy that others can't explain, but can't resist. This is your breakthrough season, and it's disguised as more work. But the difference is, now your work works for you. It's generating harvest. It's generating wealth. It's generating honor. You're not hustling blindly anymore. You're harvesting strategically. Because divine timing has merged with divine direction. And that's a recipe for unstoppable momentum. Don't let the simplicity of your daily actions fool you. God loves to cloak massive miracles in humble movements. A single post, a small project, a quiet moment of creativity. These are no longer just daily tasks. They are PowerPoints, moments that are dripping with supernatural possibility. And when your spirit stays aware of that, you become unstoppable. You've already felt the winds change. The silence you once feared has become your sanctuary. The delays that once felt like punishment now feel like divine setup. Because now, you understand. This work was never random. It was an assignment. And assignments from God carry oil, power, and profit. Not just profit for your bank account, but for your soul, for your future, for your bloodline. You're becoming a magnet for abundance, not because you're chasing it, but because you're aligned. The work you've done has placed you on a supernatural frequency, one that resonates with prosperity, one that calls forth divine clients, divine doors, divine deals. You are no longer wondering how it will happen. You are now walking in it. Watch how fast things shift. Watch how quickly the harvest accelerates. You are no longer in waiting mode. You're in receiving mode. And when a chosen one enters receiving mode, heaven rushes in. Because you are not just receiving for yourself. You are receiving as a gatekeeper, a steward, a blessing carrier. Others will be blessed through you. Others will be healed by your example. Others will believe again because you didn't quit. You're not just unlocking your fortune, you're becoming a portal for other fortunes to be unlocked. Your testimony is about to awaken faith in those who gave up. And your consistency is about to awaken rewards you didn't even know existed. God has stored up blessings that only obedience can open, and your obedience just turned the key. Let the critics talk. Let the doubters wonder. Your results will speak for themselves. You're not chasing applause anymore. You're channeling purpose, and purpose always outlasts popularity. This is a divine season of repayment, restoration, and recognition. Heaven is honoring what earth tried to overlook. It's not about who clapped for you, it's about who anointed you. And heaven has already clapped. Heaven has already celebrated, and now earth has no choice but to respond. This is the season where your private discipline becomes public distinction, where your secret work becomes visible wealth. Chosen one, it's not coming, it's here. And the only thing left to do is stay faithful, stay grounded, stay in motion. Because the motion you've started can no longer be stopped. You are divinely accelerated, divinely protected, divinely chosen. And the work that once felt like survival is now launching your arrival. There's no going back. There's no shrinking now. You've been seen. You've been activated. And what God has started through your hands, He will finish with glory. You are not building in vain. You are building a gateway for supernatural fortune. The tide has turned, chosen one. What once seemed delayed is now divinely accelerated. There is no more waiting season. There is only the birthing season. The gestation period of your fortune is over. Your name has already entered rooms your feet haven't touched yet. And the very work you stayed loyal to, while no one was watching, is now the work heaven is elevating in public. Understand something powerful. You are not being rewarded for being flashy or famous. You are being rewarded for being faithful. This is the currency heaven honors. And your consistent faith has become a frequency that fortune hears, a frequency that money responds to. You are no longer trying to chase wealth, you are calling it in. And the work that used to feel like a whisper now speaks in thunder. You may not see the full picture yet, but the shift is undeniable. Divine eyes are on you. Kingdom strategies are unfolding through your simple actions. You're not just working anymore, you're walking in prophetic fulfillment. You are a living answer, a blueprint of what happens when obedience refuses to quit. And now, the favor stored up for your life is finding its exit point through this very work. This is why the struggle was so intense. This is why the warfare seemed personal. The enemy knew what your work would unlock. That's why the opposition came in waves. That's why you felt the pressure in silence. But what hell feared is now happening. Your breakthrough is active. Your destiny is no longer pending. It's present. It's breathing. It's building momentum in ways you can't stop, even if you tried. And the most astonishing part? It's not just the work you've been doing. It's the energy behind it. Your intention, your spirit, your willingness to keep going when the fruit hadn't yet appeared. All of it has become the aroma that draws supernatural supply. This is not random. This is exact. Heaven has measured your capacity and found you ready. Chosen one, this is where things start to look unfamiliar. You're going to experience elevation that doesn't make logical sense. Increase that doesn't follow the pattern others relied on. Doors that seem too big for where you've been, opening simply because you were divinely assigned to walk through them. You're not walking into opportunity. You're walking into prophecy. You are the prophecy in motion. The very act of staying faithful to the assignment, of showing up in your gifts, of refusing to compromise the calling. This has unlocked what effort alone never could. You've crossed over from striving to supernatural flow. Your work is now drenched in oil. It's blessed beyond the natural. Every move now has ripple effects. Every offering you release carries multiplied return. And let's speak truth. The world will try to understand, but it won't be able to explain. Because this blessing won't be tied to formulas. It won't be attached to credentials. It will only be traced back to favor. The undeniable hand of God will be the only explanation for how fast you rise, how far your work spreads, how much your wealth multiplies. This is where you begin to see the difference between hustle and heaven, between grinding and grace. You've stepped into the grace zone, and in the grace zone, results are exponential. Doors swing wide before you even knock. Provision shows up before you even ask. Honor comes before you even demand it. Why? Because grace doesn't follow man's rules, it follows God's decisions. And God decided your work is the channel. The work you've been doing in the unseen is now the light that others will follow. You didn't just create a brand, a business, or a product. You created a beacon, a spiritual landmark that declares, this is what obedience looks like. This is what breakthrough looks like. This is what heaven-ordained wealth looks like. You are living proof. And here's the truth. You're not just unlocking your fortune. You're reclaiming what was always yours. The wealth tied to your name before you were born is now being released because your actions have aligned with your spiritual identity. You're no longer working to earn favor. You're working to express favor. You're not seeking validation. You're walking in confirmation. So yes, everything is changing. And yes, it's supposed to feel surreal. You've outgrown the season where you had to explain your value. You've left the place where you needed others to approve your path. You are now stepping into a realm where the only voice that matters has already said yes. God has spoken over your work, and that is enough. This is where miracles don't trickle, they pour. Where your work becomes magnetic, where your environment begins to shift because the energy around you is no longer average. You are now carrying the weight of wealth, and with it, the responsibility of stewardship. You're not just making money. You're managing destiny. You're managing souls connected to your obedience. And that's the beauty of this transformation. You're being upgraded not just in lifestyle, but in capacity. You are now the kind of vessel that can carry more, hold more, distribute more. You're being trusted with influence, with impact, with infrastructure. And your work is the ground on which this divine construction will be built. Don't shrink when it comes. Don't sabotage it with self-doubt. This level was always yours. You were always meant to rise. The obstacles were not meant to stop you, they were meant to shape you. And they have. You are different now. Sharper, stronger, wiser. And you're ready for what most people wouldn't even believe for. The key has turned. The lock is broken. And the gates of wealth are swinging open. Not because you forced them, but because your spirit unlocked them. Your work has become a sound that the universe responds to, a vibration that draws overflow, and it will not stop here. This is just the beginning. So get used to being celebrated. Get used to being elevated. Get used to being blessed in front of the very environments that once dismissed you. God is not just lifting you, He's displaying you. Your testimony will not be private. It will be loud, and your journey will inspire many who thought their work was wasted. You are the sign that divine work never returns empty, that chosen labor always produces chosen reward, and that when God decides to unlock fortune, He does it through hands that were never afraid to get dirty in the process. You have arrived, and you are only going up from here. You are no longer in the space of waiting. You are in the space of witnessing. You are witnessing your own rise. Not because you begged for it, not because you fought others for a seat at the table, but because God built a table for you and placed it in full view of every moment you endured without recognition. Chosen one. This is what restoration looks like when heaven steps in. This is what it means when God says, now is the time. There's no confusion, no delay, no interference. It flows with precision. It overtakes without apology. What was lost is returning in double. What was taken is returning multiplied. And it's all coming through the very work you thought might never matter. The divine reward system is not based on man's metrics. It's built on purpose, patience, and persistence. And you've proven your heart. You've passed the internal tests. The outer rewards are just beginning to reflect the inner reality you already carry. You've been wealthy in spirit. Now comes the material match. And let's be clear, this fortune is not limited to currency. Yes, money is coming. In fact, massive abundance is being directed toward you with urgency. But beyond the money comes a restoration of identity. You will no longer look at yourself through the eyes of the struggle. You will now see yourself as heaven sees you. Favored, appointed, unstoppable. The work that once cost you peace is about to produce it. The work that drained you will now fund you. The work that wore you out is now being transformed into your divine wealth engine. This is not just a change in season. It's a change in spiritual authority. You now carry the weight of someone who has been tested, trusted, and now triumphs. You're stepping into generational influence. What you've built in silence will become a blueprint for others. Your name will be mentioned not just in circles of success, but in rooms where legacy is shaped. You will be remembered not only for what you did, but for how you stayed faithful while it was still in seed form. Don't be surprised when old doors close. That's not punishment. That's promotion. The new places you're stepping into require new environments, new systems, and new voices. You are no longer in survival mode. You are in strategic mode. Everything must now align with the level of wealth and wisdom you've stepped into. Even your thoughts are shifting. You are beginning to think like someone who is no longer earning for the moment, but building for the future. Your thoughts are no longer small. They are kingdom-sized. Your vision no longer stops with your needs. It expands into generations, into movements, into divine institutions. And this is only possible because you never quit the work. That work, despite the hardship, despite the exhaustion, became your covenant with destiny. You didn't know it at the time, but your actions were saying to heaven, "I'm ready to carry more." And now, heaven is saying back, "Let it be done." This fortune that is being unlocked is going to blow your mind, not just because of the wealth, but because of the timing. It's going to arrive at a moment when others thought you were done. It's going to come in a way that exposes the delay was not denial, but divine direction. You had to be placed properly before you could be poured into. You are now positioned in power. And because of that, everything is shifting. Resources are finding you. Ideas are igniting. People are being sent to support what you once had to do alone. Your table is being expanded because what you carry is too big to keep to yourself anymore. And that's the truth, chosen one. You are now the distributor, not just the receiver. You are a channel, a vessel, a fountain. And the flow is divine. Your obedience has opened a spiritual pipeline. And what's coming through it is not a trickle. It's a flood. You'll notice things accelerate faster than you ever imagined. What used to take years will take weeks. What required begging now requires simple presence. Why? Because you are no longer working in your strength. You are working in divine favor. And favor skips steps. Favor rewrites rules. Favor makes room where there was none. This isn't magic, it's manifestation. You created this through your faithfulness, through your tenacity, through your trust. And now that it's activated, nothing and no one can shut it down. The gears are in motion. The machine of destiny has been ignited. You are being carried by divine momentum. Your voice will sound different now. Your posture will shift, not out of pride, but out of alignment. You no longer have to convince anyone of your value. Your results will be the evidence. Your fruit will speak louder than any introduction. The energy around you has changed, and now everything must respond. Even the earth is responding. Watch how nature syncs up with your new season. Watch how timing suddenly bends in your favor. People who once said no will return with yes. Doors that were locked will open without keys. All because this is divine timing, not man's permission. You will become a magnet for miracles. And not just the ones you asked for, the ones you forgot you even dreamed of, the ones you thought were too far-fetched, too out of reach. God didn't forget them. He stored them. And now, they are being released. You'll start noticing a deep peace, a knowing. a calm strength that doesn't panic anymore. That's the power of being in flow. When your work is touched by heaven, fear has no place. Scarcity evaporates. You begin to live, move, and create from overflow. And what's more, this fortune isn't unstable. It's not a temporary blessing. This is sustained, generational, divine prosperity. You are not just being blessed, you are becoming the blessing. Your presence will shift rooms. Your words will activate others. Your example will inspire faith where there was once doubt. You are now carrying weight, not the kind that burdens you, the kind that builds others. You've become a pillar, a spiritual structure that others can look at and say, if it happened for them, it can happen for me. You're not just a success story, you're a divine case study. Chosen one, you didn't just survive, you outlasted the pressure. You matured under the weight, you mastered what others abandoned. And because of that, you are now walking into a flood of favor that cannot be reversed. You are undeniable. And all of it, every ounce of it, is coming through your work, not through a gimmick, not through chance, not through dependence on others, but through the very gift you stayed loyal to. That's the kind of fortune no one can take, because you didn't buy it. You became it. The floodgates are open. The wealth is moving. The evidence is about to overflow. This is not your imagination. This is your inheritance. The atmosphere around you is now drenched with expectancy. It's not just you hoping anymore. It's the environment sensing that something enormous is emerging from within you. The work you've been committed to is no longer an isolated effort. It has become a spiritual force, a vibration that reaches into unseen dimensions and pulls destiny into motion. You've become a carrier of something much greater than personal success. You're now hosting divine momentum. Your work has become a spiritual trigger. When you move, realms respond. When you speak, strongholds break. When you create, portals open. This is why the work is now unlocking fortune. Because you're not just creating with your hands, you're creating with your essence.